From Forex Traders Daily, this is your daily analysis with Ross Mullins, live from Richmond, Virginia.
Hello everyone, this is today's video analysis for June 9th, 2017. In a moment we'll be taking a look at the USDCAD, the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar, for today's trade analysis. But first I want to recap one of the suggestions made over the past few days, which was to go short and sell the GBP USD. Now, we knew that there would be expected volatility. The expectation was that whichever way the election results went, that we'd see some spiking in both directions, or we'd just see a one-sided directional move. We did decide to go ahead and go short here on the currency pair, and you can see currently we're sitting about 150 pips of profit on the trade. We've seen quite a bit more than that on the lowest spike on the trade. You can see, if I zoom it in a little bit, you can see that big long spike sticking down here into the 1.26s, falling from the 1.29. So we're into profit. We've protected profit. I've actually moved my stop loss down all the way down to 28.25 to protect some of the profit just above the orange shaded area. At this point, we want to see it stay within or under this orange shaded area. And if it gets back above it, we may be looking for some further pullback towards the 1.20, the mid 12800s, the yellow shaded area. So really at this point, we want to see it stay under the orange zone and start that next surge back down to the blue shaded area. It's been quite a volatile 24 hours here for this currency pair. So if you're in profit, of course, always protect it. If you're not in profit, I'd be cautious about trading it at the current moment unless we get some further confirmation that it's going to hold under the orange shaded area. Let's take it down to the 4-hour time frame. You can see what's been happening. It's been holding just underneath it for the past several hours. So we had the quick spike down here, the rapid reversal. Again, the key point here is that we need it to stay underneath 127.70, 128. And if it gets above 128 again, we could be looking for further reversal. So protect as much profit as possible. I've actually closed some of the lots on the trade. So I've closed profit, protected with the stop loss. I can't lose on the trade. I hope that you're in the same position, and we'll look to see if we can get another surge lower for the pound dollar. Next, let's move over to the USDCAD. Now, we have news again today. We have employment data, unemployment rate coming out of Canada at 8:30 a.m. Eastern U.S. time, about 40 minutes actually from the recording of this video. So that's expected volatility. We've been talking in the trade room about two different trends, the blue trend line coming up from the bottom and the red trend line coming down from the top, and we've just been squeezing between those two trend lines for the past couple of weeks. Green shaded area 1.3445 down to 1.3420. That's the green zone around the blue trend line and the support level. The resistance around the red trend line is 134.90 up to 135.15, and we've just been bouncing around in here for the past few days. Look back here where the red circle is. You can see resistance here before as well. Black circle way on the left-hand side of the chart shows resistance, so we know that there's resistance here. We've been studying it all week long. So let's go ahead and zoom it in one more time, a couple of times here. So we can see the market just been bouncing around here. And we did take a sell earlier on this week, had some profit down to the green zone, came back up, took us out of the trade, and it's been stagnant here into our resistance zone for the past 24 hours. So what we need to see is either it falls off the red trend line yellow zone and goes down, or it's going to break through the yellow zone and go higher. We know that news could be the catalyst for change here. If it's negative, if it's significantly negative for the Canadian dollar, we'll look for it to break 35.15 and go higher. That would be a negative move for the Canadian dollar. A positive move for the Canadian dollar, we're looking for underneath 135.15, under the red trend line, a fall back down, at least at minimum, towards the green shaded area. So below the yellow zone, we go to the green zone on positive news for Canada. If it's negative news for Canada, we're breaking the yellow zone and at minimum going to the pink zone. We always talk about that other little deciding factor there when we're talking about the dollar CAD, and that's the oil prices. As you can see, oil's been fairly stagnant for the past 48 hours. It's been kind of holding right around the 47.65, 4800 level. This is the Brent oil price chart, but you can see oil's kind of settled out down here into support. Hasn't broken it. Hasn't really significantly bounced off of it. So if oil breaks support, if oil breaks this orange shaded area and oil starts to tumble again, we could be looking for the CAD to break resistance and go back up again. If oil bounces off support and goes back up, that would give this a boost to go back down towards the green zone. So we have oil to deal with, we have the Canadian employment data to deal with, so we'll have to watch all of that. Once we get that employment data, that might give us a little bit of an opportunity to dive into a trade here for the Canadian. But what we're watching for is a breakout of this yellow shaded area. Let's take it down to the 4-hour time frame. And again, nothing really new here. It's just been toying around just underneath the red trend line, the yellow shaded area. We need a significant break of this contraction here, consolidation, this little congestion zone that's here right around 35.15. A break above it, again, targets back to the pink zone, falling off it back down to the green zone. Let's see what the news does. If it's good news, again, for Canada, if it's good numbers, then we're looking for it to fall back down to the green zone for the dollar CAD today.
From Forex Traders Daily, this has been your daily analysis with Ross Mullins. If you would like to get Ross's analysis on all the currency pairs he's watching and all the trades he takes today, join him in his live trade room by clicking on the link below. Please leave any comments you have about today's video in the comments section below.